to the Prosperous Life Podcast. This is Braiden Belnap. Thank you so much for showing up each and every week. The ones that show up every single week, you're choosing to consistently transform your life, which allows you to transform this entire world. The power of just simply being kind to yourself allows you to be kind to others, which makes a bigger impact than you may think. And I also want to thank you if you're an individual firstly showing up. Thank you so much for choosing the Prosperous Life Podcast. And I hope to move you to a prosperous life, even just a little bit today. That in mind, today we're talking about controlling your thoughts so that you can control your results. See, when your thoughts run on autopilot, what that means is your emotions run on autopilot, which means your behaviors, your actions run on autopilot, which ultimately means the results you're getting in life run on autopilot. If you pay attention, the very first thing that we talked about that ran on autopilot was thoughts. So if you capture that, you can generally capture the result. So recognize that this podcast is going to be for you, whether you're getting the results that you want. This will give you a little bit more understanding of why you're getting the results. And I think I'll say we're human here. So I would say it's probably fair that in some area of your life, you're not getting all the results you want. So we can always grow. And of course, if you're not getting the results that you want in your life, this is definitely for you. So I'm very excited as we talk about getting the results, human nature, and the process of this, because it's solving a huge problem. Most people settle. Most people sit on their phones or they go to their work, they come home, they sit on their couch. And while they're sitting on their couch, they're thinking of what they could be doing and what they should be doing, yet they don't. So ultimately, today is the day to begin to get the results that you're looking for. The first key here is awareness. Awareness is actually the first step to living a prosperous life ultimately. When you have awareness, it allows you to move the needle forward, right? It allows you to recognize that you are doing something right. It allows you to recognize you're not doing something right, which allows you to transform. As I always say, if there's a spider on your back and you don't know it's there, you can't transform it. You can't get it off your back. But as soon as you know there's a spider on your back, you'll do anything and everything to get that spider off your back. I guess if you're anything like me. Now, to speak to that, if you have that same drive to get a spider off your back as your goals, as your ambitions, for your relationships, for yourself, for your businesses, for your financial freedom, what that means to me is that you will definitely make them happen. You will definitely get the spider off the back. The question is, will you definitely make your life happen for you the way you see it? So as we talked, it goes thought, emotion, behavior, reaction, or action, which equals your results. So most people don't control anything in their lives. Today you have an opportunity to control the very basic process of human behavior, which will allow you to get the results that you're looking for in life, right? If you can control the basic human process, you can control the major things. So the way I like to look at this is a story of a caterpillar and a butterfly. When a butterfly is first born, it becomes a caterpillar. And it goes on its life, it eats its leaves, the flowers, the things that it needs to nutrition it to form into I want to say they call them cocoons, right? From there, they transition into a beautiful butterfly. Now, that caterpillar / butterfly had patience. It's enjoyed the journey. It, of course, didn't force transformation, right? It knew it was going to become a butterfly, but it also understood the seasons of its life. It understood the process to becoming a butterfly. So let's say you're a caterpillar right now. You're financially working on your businesses, working on your relationships. You may be in a caterpillar state where it's not necessarily that beautiful butterfly, but it's crucial to be held. You're working on those things, fine-tuning yourself to be able to grow. From there, you may be in a state of a cocoon where you're just consistent, right? You've grown, you've developed. And it's not that you've plateaued, you're just staying consistent with what you've built so far. And through that time, it may feel like a cocoon, like you're staying in this, it's not really growing anywhere. But one day, you become that beautiful butterfly. So ultimately, you want to evaluate where you're at. Are you the caterpillar? Are you in the cocoon? Or are you the beautiful butterfly flourishing? Just nothing can stop you. Nothing can catch you. You just are flourishing. So you want to evaluate that with any area of your life that you're not getting the result in that you're looking for. Relationships, finance, business, personal development, spiritual health, mental health, physical health. Doesn't matter. Evaluate where are you at. If you're not getting the results you want, I would assume that maybe you're the caterpillar. Maybe you're in the cocoon and you're not quite the butterfly. And recognize that, be patient. That's one thing I would recognize. Maybe you're doing all the right things. Be patient, and you don't want to force any transformation that isn't appropriate, right? Let's say that I saw a cocoon. If I took a razor blade and I cut the cocoon open trying to save the caterpillar or the butterfly, it would literally kill the butterfly and the caterpillar. So we can't force that transformation, right? So when you evaluate, recognize maybe there is something you're doing wrong. Maybe there isn't something you're not doing. But maybe you're doing actually everything you can be, and you just need to enjoy and be patient on the process. So when you know where you're at, let's say you do find that there's something wrong, right? You want to understand it. You want to drive a deep pain and a pleasure to transformation. So let's say you're not showing up in your marriage the way that you want to. You're not communicating effectively. If you continue to do that, what does life look like for you and your spouse in the next 1, 2, 5 years, even 10 years? Is it going to lead to the life, financially, business life, traveling life, spirit, mental, physical health life? Is it going to lead to a long, happy marriage? I'd probably venture to say no, and it's not the result that you're looking for. And I would assume to say that if you're married, you deeply love that person and you want to be with them for a very long time. So on the flip side of that, you transform your communication and you thrive. You see that you and your relationship with your wife or your husband is going to flourish for a very long time. You're going to be able to travel together. You're going to be able to retire together. You're going to be able to achieve those financial and business goals, but also those personal goals, just as simple as going mini golfing and enjoying your time together. So after you understand that pain, recognize where it's come from. Did your parents teach you that? Did your dad? Did your mom? Where did your communication style come from? Because ultimately, I would venture to say you had to learn it somewhere. And when you recognize where it came from, look at their result. So let's say you recognize a communication pattern in yourself that was in your mom and your dad, and now they're divorced. If you don't transform, that's ultimately where you're going to end up, because it's the result that they got using the same thing. So after you've done that, I think it's kind of just a no-duh that you want to transform. But you need to know what you want to transform it into. So let's say your communication is raising your voice, yelling, and then walking away. Maybe your fighting language is, hey, babe, I'm a little tense right now. I just need 5 minutes. I need to cool down, then I can come back and talk to you. So transform it into something, right? And again, this can go to financial, business, career, physical, whatever result you're not getting into, you need to evaluate where you're at in the process. Maybe you're doing everything wrong. You just need to be patient and enjoy the journey. Maybe there is something going wrong and you evaluate the problem. You need to understand it. What's the pain? What's the pleasure? Where is it coming from? Then you need to transform it. From there, you need to take action. What action can you take immediately? Right? So if it was me and I was in a relationship and I just got in an argument with my wife yesterday and I recognize that I want to transform that, I would take immediate action today, and I would say I would go to her, for me, of course. For you, it may be your husband. And I would say, hey, can we redo that conversation and do a redo? Begin to redo those conversations. That way you begin to learn how to argue when it comes up, right? For you, in business, finance, whatever you're looking to transform and get a different result in, take immediate action. Maybe it's writing down those goals. Maybe it's making that one extra sales call. Maybe it's sending that one extra DM. Whatever it is, take action immediately. Then you want to focus on a long-term approach. Kind of like we mentioned here, being able to end the conversation before it gets bad, then coming back to it. For you in business, maybe it's making that one extra phone call a day. Maybe in finance, it's just going to get another job or starting a side business. If it's for you physically, maybe it's just working out an extra 5-10 minutes a day. Or maybe it's just starting 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Right? What long-term action can you take to instill this result in your life? Now, what I want you to understand is consistency in your language. Thoughts create emotion. Emotion creates a result, creates an action, a behavior, a reaction, which creates your results. So your thoughts, right before your thoughts, your thoughts is the face of your beliefs. So kind of like my head right here. If you're on camera, you can see I have this face, I have this head. That is what represents my thoughts. And inside is my brain, and that is where my beliefs take place. So when you're talking to somebody, you can actually see what they believe just by the way they talk. You can also look internal, look at your thoughts, and those are the face to your beliefs. So by consistently putting in new thoughts, new language, you begin to plant new seeds, which can create new beliefs. So most people just allow things to be. They allow their garden, let's say, just to grow the flowers, grow the weeds as it wishes. Today you have the ability to go trim down the weeds, pick them out, and begin to plant new seeds of flowers. So consciously tell yourself new things. You learn to transform it, right? From the bad to the good. Begin to put more good into your life, right? Because every single area, balance is a misconception. Balance, if I'm doing good in my marriage, I'm doing better in my business. If I'm doing good in my marriage, I'm doing better in finance. And guess what? If I'm doing better in finance and business, I'm doing better in my relationship. Life goes round, my friend. It's not a matter of, hey, did I work enough on my business? No. If you're doing good in one area, you're going to do good in the other. If you're doing bad in one area, you're probably going to do bad in another area. So transform the good into bad is first step to getting the results you're looking for. Now you're going to plant more and more seeds in all your areas by using declarations and affirmations. If you want to achieve something in your life, you have to become somebody different. You have to consciously work to transform your life internally. So begin with affirmations. That would be my first recommendation. An affirmation can be simple. I am amazing. I am true to myself. I am honest. I am an amazing husband. I am an amazing salesperson. I am an amazing business person. I'm an individual that truly influences the world. I'm an individual that is a transformational life coach that impacts millions of people. Begin to tell yourself these affirmations on a daily basis. Create them custom to you as well. If you recognize that you're struggling with your purpose, you know that you are gifted something naturally, you love it, and you know how to make an impact, but maybe it's not Maybe you turned it into a business that isn't taking off as much as you thought it would. Start a new belief system. Customize it to you. So if maybe you're a coach out there struggling and you're not getting the results, tell yourself, I am a transformational life coach. And I know as long as I consistently show up, and as long as I consistently show up with the kindness and the love I have for myself and others, I will succeed. Begin to tell yourself good things. Now, declarations. You want to declare your life, right? If you don't declare it, who will? Just like the Declaration of Independence, we declared what we wanted for the country. Begin to declare yourself. Declare what you want for your life. I am creating $1 million in my bank account. I am creating a big business. I am creating financial freedom for my family. I am creating me to be able to travel 3 times a year. It doesn't matter. Make them custom to you. But what are you declaring in your life? What are you going to achieve? Now, as you do this, as you transform and get the results for yourself, and as you declare and plant new flowers in your life, you're going to want to begin to impact others, because you won't live a prosperous life if you're not shooting to impact others. You just won't. Impacting others is one of the most important things to tie it all together. There's a mountain that you're called to climb, and God called you to climb this mountain, and you're the only one that achieves climbing that mountain, and there was 50 people following you. Trust me when I say you did something wrong and you did not achieve what God believed in you. Now, I'm not God. That's obviously my personal opinion, but impacting others is pretty important in my belief. And I know God had a calling for all of us to make an impact in this world. Others won't tell themselves who they are and what they're capable of doing. So you do it. It doesn't matter if you're very comfortable with them or very close to them. It could be a stranger. If you go to a restaurant and your waiter is absolutely amazing, acknowledge them. Hey, you were absolutely amazing. Your energy is vibrant. You're one of the best waiters I've ever had. Thank you so much. Begin to tell those people that they're doing a good job. Tell them, plant those seeds for them. Some people literally do not believe in themselves. Some people are literally suicidal. Some people are so depressed and have so much anxiety. And you have the power to say just a couple words that could change their entire lives by planting one flower. Most people don't shoot to inspire others to be better. And today you can. You can always put on a smile for other people. You can always wave for the impact that it could potentially make on somebody's life. Now, of course, we want to impact you first. Plant the trees, plant the flowers in your life, right? You got to impact yourself first so you can show for that high energy to transform other people's lives. Begin to plant the flowers for you. Begin to plant the flowers for others. Find that purpose. What are you naturally good at? What do you love? And how can you make an impact with it? That alone, sometimes people are not getting the results that they want because they're not doing what they love. They're doing it out of, what does my dad want from me? What do my parents, what do societies, what do my teachers want from me? Do what you want. Do it authentically to yourself. And start small and work to the big impact, right? So just to recap here, to get the results you want is to take place of your thoughts. So you want to evaluate, you want to understand, you want to transform, then you want to take action. From there, you want to consciously begin to put more flowers and trees into your life that are absolutely beautiful. From there, you want to begin to live a purposeful life. Live the life that you love, not what other people want for you. And from there, you can begin to make the small impact and work to the big impact, but ultimately you need to make the impact on yours first. You know, I used to be sad, depressed, have a lot of anxiety. Then, if you know my story at all, then an angel visited me, which transformed me, put me into action, gave me that belief to know that I am something. I deserve to be here. I have a message. I have a story. And I'm so grateful for that day. I still remember it and feel it vividly of what it was like. It was like an instant purpose. Like, you can make a difference in this world, Braiden Belnap. Do so. Now, I'm here to tell you, you don't need to wait for your lowest point to make it to change. You don't need to wait until you hit rock bottom to where there's no going back down. It's only up, or I stay here, to make a change. If you're at your lowest, fine. If you're at rock bottom, fine. Let's go. Let's fight. You've faced a lot of defeat, just like I have, but refuse to be defeated. Refuse to be defeated. This is life, one day at a time. If you show up one day at a time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year down the road, your life will look completely different and look completely transformed. So it's a choice. What is it going to be? Are you going to wait till you hit rock bottom, or are you going to show up today? It's all your choice. Now let's go into Q&A. So for this podcast, I actually only received 2 questions. And here they are. One is, what do you do when your belief starts getting weak? That's an amazing question. What to do when your belief starts getting weak? To me, if I'm hearing this question right, it may be because you're not getting the results that you want, which is getting you less confident, which makes you have less belief in yourself or whatever it is. So what you want to do when your belief starts getting weak is what I took you through, is evaluate, understand it, transform it, and take action. One thing I want to know, in the entrepreneur personal development world, it's known to go from 1 to 100 real quick. So you could not have started a business, and then you could have started a business and you're going from 0 sales calls to 100 sales calls a day. Whatever the case, maybe take it smaller, right? Start with 10 sales calls a day instead of 100. That way you can get confident that 110. From there, you can grow upon that. So really just evaluate, understand, transform, take action. You can be confident. You can believe in yourself. I believe everybody deserves that, to be honest with you. And what I know to be true is that if you evaluate and transform it as quickly as possible, you can begin to find a new belief or instill that belief and keep it going strong. The other question: how do you maintain a state of calmness when we start to get frustrated? Great question as well. So frustration is a trigger. I want you to remember that nobody else is actually responsible for your emotions. You have a thought, you have emotion, you have a result. You have a thought, you have an emotion, you have a behavior, then you have a result, right? So somebody may have said a thought or a word or something of that nature, which caused you a thought, which created an emotion, which creates a behavior, which creates a result. Please edit that out, Megan. So when somebody says something and it triggers you and you have a thought and emotion, what I would tell you to do is you're going to want to take some time outside of that person, outside of people, to go through the full process of evaluating why you were triggered, what the issue was, so that you can understand, transform, and take action. But in that moment, you want to pattern interrupt, right? So when you have a thought, you can do a pattern interrupt to change the thought. So just like that person said something that triggered you to have thoughts, you can have a pattern interrupt so you can create new thoughts, which creates a new emotion, which creates new behaviors, which creates another result. So let's say you or somebody says something that triggers you to get frustrated. You could dance. You could say words, a declaration, an affirmation. You can sing. You can even have a power pose. Small things will make a big difference there. So I would just encourage you to do it something that's authentic to yourself. Whether a thought, declaration, affirmation, just begin to say something that interjects, creates new thoughts, so you have that new emotion of loving, peace, whatever you're looking for, which creates the behavior that you're looking and then the results. With that in mind, I want to thank you all. If you enjoyed this podcast, go ahead and check out the new podcasts. New ones are coming out on a weekly basis. Check back on the old podcast as well. Maybe one resonates with you. Other than that, subscribe, leave a review, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.